All right. So, welcome to another interesting episode of Stories That Impact. My today's guest is retired Colonel Venkat Raman. Hello, Colonel.
Good afternoon. Hi, Amit. Glad to be here.
Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. And before I start in, let me thank you from myself and all the millions and billions of Indians for serving us at the border. So, thank you, sir.
Grateful for that. Thank you.
All right. So, like I said, so today is a very special day because it's very rare for us, the civilians or the common people, to meet and chat with the colonel. The people who are actually not only just serving the country, they're actually protecting our day to day lives so that we can do better every single day. Now, my guest, as I said, is retired Colonel Venkat Raman, who was an army engineer and he's currently a faculty in a B school. Today, he shares his experience during the time at National Defense Academy, the armed forces, that helped him to shape in the person he is today. He began to look at his life as an adventure and a challenge. It developed a fighting spirit in him, and he started to learn to look at the bigger picture of life. So, without wasting any further time, I would actually give it to Kernan. And once again, it's my privilege to welcome you on my show. Thank you very much for your time, and we would love to hear your experiences, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Khanna. It's really been an honor and a privilege to be here on this show, and I must really thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my life experiences with everyone. I've been through your inspiring stories, and I found them to be truly inspiring. You've done a really great job, and it was such a joy to go through all those stories. So I'm really glad that I would also be adding value here. Well, let me begin straight from the beginning. Um, Let me introduce myself. Colonel Venkat Raman is my name, and I am a Tambram, if some of you know what that means. A Tambram is short for a Tamil Brahmin. Well, I'm saying this with a purpose because you see, we in the Tambram community rarely have anyone going into the forces. And well, as I would say, I had a very ordinary childhood in the sense my dad was in the ordnance factories. We were in Pune. I studied in a school called St. Joseph's Convent, a boys' high school there. I had a very simple and a nice childhood. Uh, what I'm trying to say now again is that while I was living in Kirki, Pune, we had a lot of bachelor army officers in our neighborhood. And they used to call me over in the evening for their parties. Some of them would be in uniform. I remember still that I was about 4 or 5 years old, and I would be the cynosure of all their eyes. And well, probably that stuck to me in my subconscious, and somewhere deep down, I had a lot of this craze for men in uniform. Nevertheless, I had a very bright, like I said, academic career. I used to always stand first, second, third. But then somewhere destiny played its, I would say, not become a doctor. You see, I tried for the Armed Forces Medical College. I tried for even the medical entrance in Mumbai University, but I flunked all of them. And it was a rude shock for me because I thought I was very good at biology. And then when that happened, um, my parents then goaded me. Look, you're a Tambram. You must become an engineer. You see, the logic was that if you're a boy in our community, you must become an engineer. So so then I tried the engineering entrance as well, and I flunked that again. And I tried IIT, JEE. I flunked that again. I'm trying to tell you all this because you see, you come from a very go through a lot of failures in life, and then you become, and remember, at that age of 15, 16, 17, it's very sensitive. You feel really depressed. I didn't know what to do. It was a kind of a shock to me that I, who had such a great academic career, was flunking in all those entrance exams. Then, well, I thought, let's at least do first year micro. So I got into Mumbai University, first year microbiology, and I started streaking agar plates in the university college. That is where again fate plays its wonderful hand. And my neighbor, I'm telling you, this is a real life story. My neighbor, he was a toughie in the sense, very good at sports, very athletic, and he wanted to join the army. And he used to keep boasting that I'm going to join the army, I'm going to join the army. And he tried for the NDA, National Defense Academy at Karakwasla. And horror of horrors, he flunked. And then he told us, very tough the entrances. The services selection board, 1 in a lakh people they get through this, that, and So then I don't know. Suddenly something came into me, and he gave a solid laugh and he said, "Venkat, if you are going to get into NDA, I'm going to shave off all my hair." And believe me, this is this is true. Okay, and this was imagine at the age of 16. So I got all fired up and I said, "What the hell? Let's take it as a swings book upside down." I really had no inkling of what life in the army was at that time. Well, I knew the army. I saw. The uniform, the glitter, and all that beckoned me. And yes, I got through the entrance. First wicket down. Then I got called to the services selection board at Allahabad, number 17. And I said, "Chalo, Prayag chalte hain. We get a free ticket to go and get a dip in the Ganges, Triveni Sangam. Why not?" Spent almost a week there, ate rations of the army. That was a phenomenal experience. Of course, the tests were not too tough, but they were quite demanding. And you won't believe this. I went for my interview in a vest and shorts, dirty from my obstacle course. People get dressed up to go and give their interviews, but I went like that. But yes, I was honest and I said what came to my mind when I joined the army. Many of them say that to join to lay down their lives for the motherland. But I said I enjoy adventure. This is something new for me. I would like to get places, to see places, and I want to lead a disciplined life. I think that caught their eye, and somehow I got through the interview also. And then finally, when the merit list came, I got through that also. Imagine, out of 10 lakh people, I would say my friend was totally stunned, and he stopped talking to me after that. Of course, he didn't. Well, that was part of the story. Getting into NDA, Kadakwasla was again something out of the ordinary. Kadakwasla is a great place. Whoever created it, God bless him. The food there is fantastic. Everything is fantastic about it. The building, the infrastructure, the facilities, they're all world class. I wish we had more institutes like this in our country. It's really phenomenal. And the discipline is fantastic. The first day you get all your hair shorn off, your ego all goes down the drain. You start rolling in the grass, and then you know what life is really all about. I can't tell you many of the things that they make us do, but certainly it makes a man out of you. And believe me, the first few days in the NDA, I literally cried every night. I said, "What the hell? Where have I come? What is this place? I can't believe this is happening to me." Because the only running I'd ever done in my life was to catch a bus earlier, and well, they were making us run every day up and down, but then the only thought that kept me back from going was, how do I face my friend? Izzat ki baat hai bhai. And so I stayed put. And I think I respect that decision of mine to stay put, because actually it made me tough. This is the life's first lesson. When things are down, when things are tough, They say in the army, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Keep your nerve. Stay there. Stay put, and don't ever give up. I think that's the first lesson I learned in during my training in the NDA. After the second term, of course, life was a breeze. Once you become senior, then things get better and better. And after I passed out from the NDA, I went to the IMA, Indian Military Academy. There again, the training was grueling. The army training in Dehradun was really, really grueling, but I had already got acclimatized to that training. There it was a different kind of training. It was pure military training, and you had to eat, sleep, live with your rifle 24/7. It was your buddy. It was your partner, and there again, I learned so many things that really what military training is all about. It was an eye opener, and it taught me how much I had missed out in my life earlier. Yeah, the adventure part. I mean, the expect the unexpected part. All that, camps that we went for, climbing the mountains in Dehradun and Masuri. Oh my, each one of them is a tale by itself. Unfortunately, for paucity of time, I will not be able to tell you everything, but then they were all part of the toughening process. And literally, one day when we climbed the mountains, in the morning when I looked down, I said, "Oh my God, don't tell me I've climbed this kind of a mountain," because I was literally sleepwalking all night. We were just looking at the person in front of us and walking. It was pitch dark, and literally, if I had seen things, if it was daylight, I wouldn't have been able to walk on that 60-centimeter ledge. So it was all a part of the growing up. Once I got commissioned again, some fantastic experiences, some of which I would like to share with you. My very first experience in the army was in a unit in Allahabad. I was lucky enough to be posted to a unit called 14 Engineers, which is part of the Madras Sappers, glorious Madras Sappers. I got into the engineers again. So again, destiny plays its hand. God wanted me to be an engineer. So I became a civil engineer. And once I got into the Corps of Engineers, luckily I had Tamil troops knowing Tamil, my mother tongue. So it was great to bind with them. And then, they make us stay for almost 3 months with the troops. We do everything with them. We even go to the loo with them. So that is a part of the, be bonding with your troops. And by the way, you're supposed to have a book with you in which you write down all the names of the men under your command. You got to know where they come from, how many children they have, which school their kids go to, everything about them, their birthday, their marriage anniversaries. So because these are men whom we are going to lead to war, so we jolly well know everything about them, and the kind of camaraderie that develops in the army, it has to be experienced. I can't really explain it in words. We have something called, we have our regimental song, we have our credo, we have our flag, we have our trophies, and those are the things that we die for. We live for and we die for. And it's a truly humbling experience in the units. Then, like I said, my first experience was the inter-unit obstacle competition. Well, this is something again which was a 440 electric shock. There were almost 20 obstacles. You got to run 5 kilometers with your large pack and your rifle, and then do all those 20 obstacles. And remember, it's a competition, so you got hardened, toughened men running with you and competing with you. So I still remember my senior subaltern, Brigadier Dhani, who motivated us and told us that Aan Baan Shaan or Jhande ke liye we must fight it. And believe me, we were the ones who came first. And it's something that really we remember. These are the things we remember. And it was worth all the effort. So the thing is that even if, like Richard Branson of Virgin says, that even if you don't know to do something, say you can do it and then learn how to do it. This is the second lesson I learned. And it paid very good dividends, even after the army, which I will be coming to shortly, after a short while. Well, I got posted to Sikkim after that. I was at about 13,000 feet in the mountains, very lonely. The place gets, completely covered by clouds. There's a place called Karpunang there, mile 13. It's so desolate. Living there itself is a challenge, because the climate is bad, you feel nausea, you don't feel like eating, then you feel lonely, claustrophobic. All the men are under you, they look up to you. There's only one road, or for all the supplies. You got just one vehicle, that's your lifeline for everything. Medicines, the nearest medical outpost is about almost 30 kilometers away. So it was like, and I was in charge of those men. And believe me, there again, it was a kind of a toughening up. And I gave it everything I had. And because of that, I got a commendation card there also while serving in Sikkim. So again, there, it was something that I remember, that hard work always pays. You see, it was a wonderful experience in Sikkim. And then I came back for my degree in College of Military Engineering, Pune, did my 3 years, got my degree, did well in the degree, and because I did well in the degree, I came back for an advanced civil engineering course, which made me, equivalent to an MTech almost in course content, and also gave me the privilege of being a designer in the army, in the military engineer services. So I was a structural designer for almost 6 years. That was later in my life, but my initial years as a combat engineer again were tremendous. Like I said, we used to do bridging in the middle of the night, and it used to go until 3, 4 in the morning. And I mean, that whole night we would not be even standing. Forget about sleeping. We wouldn't be standing in one place. We would be screaming and running up and down and getting the bridge made. And can you believe it? We get bridges built in 2 hours before breakout. Uh, that was really something tremendous. And when you see the men all charged up, then you also believe me. This is another story I want to share. There are some floating pontoon bridges. You've got equipment from various countries. I can't name the countries here, but suffice to say, they're vehicles which carry bridges on them, bridge members, and they are very, very heavy vehicles with heavy equipment, almost like the those construction like the construction equipment on the roads. So, and these vehicles are specially driven. I knew driving, I had a license, but I had never driven this vehicle before. Suddenly, one day while we were doing this bridging, my officer tells me, "Come on, can you lay the bridge?" And believe me, it's not a joke. You got to reverse the vehicle and lay the pontoon. The pontoon pushes into the water, and when the pontoon slides down, you have to keep giving throttle so that the vehicle doesn't fall into the water. Very tricky, believe me. I said, "Yes, I'll do it." Although my fingers were shaking and my legs were shaking. But then I did it because it is a question of, again, ijjat in front of your jawans. Believe me, when the time comes, the man comes. Somehow you find the courage to do things. So that again was an experience in itself. So these are small tales which tell me that yes, life is worth living. Life should be lived to its fullest. My The rest of my journey in the army was not very, I would say, dramatic. But there was one thing which again I want to share with you all, which brings out another lesson. At the age of 40, while I was on study leave in Madras, I was detected with a brain tumor. Now that was a shocking part of my life. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I had a loss of hearing in my right ear, and I just discovered that I had a tumor in my brain. And then they told me that you better get it operated. I said, "Let me get it operated after my MBA." He said, "You want to live or no? If you don't live, you don't get your MBA. Remember that." So I went straight to Command Hospital, Pune, and there was a doctor, Brigadier Dubey, who said, "Yes, we've got to operate you. You don't have a choice." And I waited till the 15th of February, which I always celebrate as my second birthday. 15th of February, I'll never forget that date. In 2001, when I got operated, the operation went on for 6 hours. And the evening before the operation, the doctor calls my wife and tells me, "We'll do our best, but you got to pray to God." And she broke down, believe me. So that was also a numbing experience, getting into the OT and knowing that you may not come out alive. And yes, again, what I wanted to share is, after the surgery, I was so weak that for almost a week I couldn't sit up. I was literally drained. But then I fought back. I literally fought back. I was in Madras, and within a month, I had to do my project of my MBA. You won't believe this. In that condition, I spoke to people on the phone. I sent them emails, reminder after reminder, completed my project with an A plus. And that really taught me that if you want to do something, you can always do it, no matter what. I got my MBA with flying colors. I got a final grade of 8 in my MBA at an university. And believe it again, the army is a wonderful place. In May the same year, I was transferred to J&K after the surgery. Imagine. So and again there in J&K, I had a wonderful time. I started going for walks. I gained back my energy. I started running. And in 2004, when I came back to Mumbai for my last posting, you won't believe this. I took part in the Mumbai Marathon. I ran 21 kilometers after my surgery. So that again, made me taught me a lesson that it's all in the mind. If you want to do something, you can always do it. If you don't want to do, you can always find excuses. So these are some of my, the story, the inspiring moments, that even after a life-threatening surgery, I could start running again. And even today, I run. Yesterday, I ran 5 kilometers. It's become a habit with me now. So, like, I'm grateful that life has taught me so many lessons. And yes, deep down, I always wanted to teach. There was this desire. After I retired in 2007, I joined the industry. I was a DGM OD in a hospitality group with several trainers under me. I was handling the training for the entire group with about 21 hotels. There were about 6 or 7 trainers whom we were responsible for. So that was a wonderful period again. And believe me, in the army, training is in our blood. We keep training our troops. So it became natural training. But then I wanted to do something better. So I did my MBA, I did my MPhil, and I did my MSc Psychology, all after retirement. And that bore fruit because I started teaching in B schools. I started with JBIMS. I taught communication skills there as a visiting faculty. Then I went on to other B schools in Mumbai. I taught at Lala's. I taught at many other schools, B schools. Currently, I am an adjunct faculty in a premier B school in Mumbai, and it's been a great time teaching. Also, I enjoy interacting with students. I enjoy sharing knowledge, my life experiences, as they say, and it's been a great ride. I'm now giving back to society. I think this, in a sense, sums up what I have really learned in life.
Wow. 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 I mean, that is life well lived. I should say. I mean,
Yes.
amazing, amazing. Right from
Thank you.
going through your school and from your education. I have one curious question. What happened to your friend? Did he shave
Sure.
his head or not?
No, he didn't shave his head, but he never spoke to me again, and that's the fact of life. He just
Okay.
disappeared from my life. Unfortunately, he was too. He was too embarrassed to speak to me again. Unfortunately, that's where the friendship unfortunately died away.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Because yeah, it, probably ego hit him more hard than anything else
Yes,
at that time.
yes, yes, yes.
Wow, wow, this is amazing. I mean, all those things that you mentioned, your story from going from one place to another and going through all the tough, because we just, from my perspective now, as a common man,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I can
Mm-hmm.
only imagine, uh, you know, how it would be difficult. And I'm pretty sure that it would be, like I said, I can only imagine. I can't put myself in that shoes because I've never been there and I never even seen it personally.
Uh, I would request you to come someday to the border areas. We'll take you around. Don't worry.
Sure, thank you very much. And the other parts that you mentioned about your brain surgery. Now,
Yeah.
that's a big thing because when you start, when you touch the brain in even in a surgery and things, and especially when the doctor says that, because I recall this for my mother's part, but not the brain surgery, something else. That you start praying, and it gives a lot of
Yeah.
chills, and especially you're just
True.
at a very young age, at 40. So that's quite
Yeah.
a
True.
thing to go through, and it's really appreciable of you that you came out of it. And like you said, you had the will in you, you had the thing that no matter what, you're not going to give up. And that's
Yes.
precisely
Absolutely.
the stories that Impact
True.
Show was all about, is that people like you who have gone through so many ups and downs in a certain manner, with all the trainings, with all the things, and after a brain surgery still managed to run a half marathon.
Yeah. True.
So
It's all in
that's
the mind,
that's
like I said. It's all in the mind.
yeah, I agree. Wonderful, sir. So we are at the tail end of the show, and I have one question that I
Okay.
ask all my guests. Could you give us one
Yes.
advice to all the viewers who's listening now and who will be listening to the recording?
Certainly. My one advice is learn to live life to the fullest. Never hold back on anything. Don't let your, you know, scares come in the way of doing anything. Like they say, "Dar ke aage jeet hai." Whatever scares you, do that first. I think that's my advice to everyone.
Wow, wow. Whatever scares you, do that first. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. All right, all right. With that, uh, so this is to all the viewers before I thank Colonel. And I'm sure I enjoyed every moment of it. And I know there were a lot of viewers who were watching this, and I'm sure you enjoyed as well. It's not a common day for people like us to get a story, a real life story, listening directly from the person rather than watching any documentary or a movie. So thank you very much, Colonel, for giving your precious time to the show and to inspire many, many
Thank you very
people.
much. Thank you
Thank you,
so
sir.
much, Amit. Thank you very much. Good day.
Good day. And to everybody, if you want to connect with Colonel, you can connect with him on the LinkedIn and on Facebook. I will put on his details. You can, of course, connect with him and ask any queries you have. And if you want to come on to my show, I will also put a link. And please connect with me, and let's inspire. If you have an inspiring story, maybe not as much as Colonel, but in a different area altogether, please share with me, and let's share it with the world to inspire others. Till then, have a wonderful day. Thank you very much, Colonel, once again.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye bye.